plumbing a house and you come across a leak and you need to repair a leak or join two pipes together, etc. It may be a small job, it may be a large job. So when you do this, and you decide to use one of these fittings, I'm not certain if push fitting would be the correct terminology, but you decide to use one of these. My opinion is they're very good, and so um, I have used many of these, and now my opinion is when I've used these and I've had problems out of so-called around the fitting area. Generally speaking, the problem is something that I've done on my like an errant move in the plumbing, just a small move, something that I did, and but generally speaking, when I've put these types of fittings on, they've lasted solid, and normally I don't go back. Now, if I generally have problems out of these, it may be right at the outset, because you'll notice if water's shooting out of here, you may not have bellied in. So when you put the pipe in, make sure you feel the clunk. And sometimes it's an intuitive thing. It's not necessarily it's I mean, there's the theoretical, and then there's when you do a certain thing enough times, you begin to get a feel for it. But when you clunk it, now sometimes when you're up around T's and this and that, it gets creative. And if you get around a situation like that, you may just want to call a professional plumber, in my opinion, because there are there are plumbing jobs and there's plumbing jobs, and some of them you never know what you're getting into until you crawl under that house and start to look at the way the things are configured, who's been there before you, or who the multiple people may have been there before you, etc. But my opinion, these fittings are good. Just make sure when you put the fitting in, say if this were the PEX pipe, make sure it bottoms out here, and then on any side used, both sides, and basically now if you desire, thinking that if you had some kind of idea that couldn't we just do a whole house with this? Just my opinion is I would dispense with that idea, because if you're paying $4 or $5 or $6 for one of these, or I'm not certain what the price is. Brass and copper has gone through the roof. So try to be patient with your plumber when you pay for materials, because material cost has gotten extremely expensive, especially anything copper, brass, this sort of thing. So and it's easy to say something that, and you're not certain, but basically just do keep in mind that anything copper and brass is expensive. So hypothetically, let's just say one was paying, say, $5 a piece for one of these. If they were paying $5 a piece for one of these, and then they needed $1,000 to plumb a house, well, that's $5,000. That's just not feasible. It is, if you've got that kind of bank account, it is, but it's just not practical, in my opinion. But are these fittings good? Yes, they're very good. But when you put the pipe in, just make sure the pipe seats, and the pipe seats well, and you'll hear a good clunk. And then you'll know as soon as you dry it off. Now, as soon as you dry this off, and if it's not leaking, you're good to go. If it's leaking out of the side, you perhaps need to cut the water off, and then and get it on up there, or either cut it out and put a new one in, etc. But my opinion, these fittings are very good for the plumbing industry. And also another positive aspect to these fittings is when you're sweating copper. Say, for instance, if you've got any moisture, the solder may not. It may have a difficult time taking, because you'll have to clean the copper up. put flux on it and then put the solder. And sometimes if you've got water, the solder won't take. These will work whether it's wet or dry. And so they're, in my opinion, they're a great little tool to have in your tool bag. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.